Good day, my name is Angelo. Welcome to another episode of What is Trending on Nation's Voice Tower, your most preferred YouTube channel. About the ongoing petition at the Court of Appeal, we don't have updates on that. Yes, I know about that from Nigerians, but Nation's Voice Tower has brought you more updates and you need to stay glued to our screens for you to get these updates. Remember that media devices are not allowed into the courtroom. So we would wait for any time our correspondents give us updates on what has been trending in the court. Now, Peter Obi, the Labour Party presidential candidate, has presented 3 more witnesses at the tribunal challenging the declaration of President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu at the Presidential Elections Petitions Court, bringing the number of witnesses to 10. Counsel to the petitioner Livy Uzoku, senior advocate of Nigeria, ushered in one Mr. Chibuike Ugwoke, a cyber security expert. One Mr. Onoja Sunday too was ushered in, an election observer, and one Mr. Kefas Iya, an ad hoc staff with the Independent National Electoral Commission as its witnesses. However, lead counsel to the INEC, that is A.B. Mahmood San, pleaded with the court that Mr. Ugwoke, an expert witness, be cross-examined today rather than yesterday. He said that the petitioners had just served the witness statement few minutes ago to his appearance to court, and that the court accepted and adjourned till today. Meanwhile, after the cross-examination of the other witnesses, the petitioners also tendered the total registered voters, PVCs, collected in 32 states. This is where the court had to surprise the whole world, okay? This is where Peter Obi surprised the whole world and the whole Nigerians. He presented 32 states copies of PVCs collected by Nigerians, and then he also presented IREF reports from Benue State, Cross River State, Lagos State, and Gombe State respectively in evidence. And you know what? The court accepted all this in evidence. This is shocking because I am feeling overwhelming right now because Peter Obi is making a very, very positive and unimaginable wave in the court. This is quite surprising. I know today will be a very, very strong day in court because what we're expecting today is more. Every day the Labour Party brings more surprises to the table. And I tell you what, we don't know what is happening. Maybe the president's seat is shaking in Aso Rock. That is left for the day the court will give its verdict. So we don't go against the court rules. That is that on that particular update. Secondly, I promised to bring you the second part of the expose by Honorable Gudaje Kazaure Mohammed, representing Kazaure and Roni Federal Constituency of Jigawa State, on the alleged 89 trillion naira fraud by Godwin Emefiele and his allies. I brought you part 1 yesterday. Today is the second part. I tell you what, we wouldn't get tired of hearing this from Honorable Gudaje, because this particular expose is not known to any security agency. This is so special. I would like you to listen to Honorable Gudaje yourself, because I am so shocked with the whooping trillions of naira that Honorable Gudaje is alleging that was stolen by Godwin Emefiele and his allies in the government and in the Aso Rock. Watch this yourself.
And ask Nigerian today, why is the new note?
Missing in action.
If they say they printed it, why is it now?
Missing in action.
So what they did is, when we started this investigation, they are aware, because amicably I invited Sarkin Hausawa of Lagos, the close ally to the Emefiele's, Amin Yaro. I invited him, he came to my house. I showed him the documents and I told him in a few days I will meet the president and we will set up a committee to investigate this issue. Advise your man, that is the civilian governor, to open stamp duty central account, to move that all that money in a secret hidden account, so that we will go and meet the president. We will not borrow money to implement the budget.
Allah Sariki,
I don't want to do something that he will say I disgrace him. Go amicably and told him. He called the civilian governor in my presence through WhatsApp call. He gave me the phone. After we greet each other, Emefiele told me that, Honorable, that School of Banking honors that there are investigations, they are fraud. Leave them. Just talk to your friend. Come, let's talk.
Okay, now in voice with that.
That is how he told me. So honorable, you know you are my friend. Just come, we discuss. Forget with that banking and honors that they are fraud. I told him, Mr. Governor, I am here with the documents for School of Banking Honors approved with the signature and approval of the President Muhammadu Buhari as sole stamp duty agent to the federal government. And I can see they have a copyright on stamp duty because they are the one who did the research in 2012, brought the research to the federal government. And they quickly go and do research, copyright, so that nobody will hijack their intellectual ideas. When the CBN governor total equity, the CBN bank, central bank total equity is 0.something trillion. When you add the budget of the central bank 2.4 trillion, it's less than 3 trillion. So where central bank get 23.4 trillion that they borrowed to banks, central bank borrowed 23.4 trillion to banks.
So where they get the money?
Where they get the money? Somebody with the total equity and budget of less than 3 trillion, how he get 23.4 trillion he borrowed bank?
Maybe they print them.
That is one. Secondly, there is 13 trillion that they borrowed federal government. Because I can see we passed the bill just recently. We passed the money, which is the most criminals fraud that I ever see. Ways and means. Federal government borrowed 20 trillion, spended it without the knowledge of the National Assembly.
20 trillion.
20 trillion.
Where they borrow the 20 trillion from?
Central Bank.
Borrowed 20 trillion naira. Spent the money without
National Assembly awareness. Not even rubber stamp. If I say the brochures we pass it, you can call rubber stamp. Without the approval of the National Assembly, they borrowed the money and they spend it. And that is why before President Buhari left office, I did justice to him. We tell National Assembly to pass that what we expect, the 20 trillion was spent, and I am sure if investigation goes, 70% of the money was been stolen by the official of that government and some cabals.
the Buhari government.
Yes, and I am sure he didn't steal kobo out of it. But when we allowed him, he left office. We didn't pass that things. He can be jailed.
All right. All said and done. Are you not surprised with the amounts of money Budaje is calling there? 89 trillion, 13 trillion, 15 trillion, 32 trillion, 24 trillion, and all of that. I feel so surprised, because if we had all these trillions of naira in our coffers, that means we wouldn't in any way be borrowing to fund our budgets. Okay, the central bank has its own budget, the National Assembly has its own budget, the Senate House has its own budget, and Nigeria itself has its own budget alongside 36 states. So we will see if the government of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu will probe this case against Godwin Emefiele and his other allies around the Aso Rock. That is that from that update. Finally, former director of the Department of State Security, Mike Ejiofor, has berated a former militant leader, Asari Dokubo, for claiming the military heads in Nigeria are involved in oil theft in the Niger Delta. Mike Ejiofor showed how angry he was over the statement of Dokubo and even showed immense concern to the allegations of the ex-militant boss. Mike rather blamed the president and the presidency for inviting Asari Dokubo to the State House, which posed to be the main issue behind the statement. Without much ado, let me allow you to watch this brief cutaway from the interview granted by former Director of the Department of State Security, Mike Ejiofor. More analysis when I come back.
It's quite unfortunate that such a statement came from the seat of government, from an ex-militant. I have no blames for Dokubo. I rather blame the handlers who presented him in the State House to make such a statement. It's a known fact that some military men are involved in oil theft, but making a sweeping statement that military top command are involved in this oil theft is not fair, and I don't think it's the right thing to say. You recall that last year, when this oil theft issue became very serious, the Chief of Defense Staff, the MD of NNPC and the rest of them, major stakeholders, the service chiefs, they all went to the creek to identify, and you saw the discoveries where some of the pipelines were pierced and the oil being tapped from it. So if the government, the top military brass like Asari Dokubo claim are involved, I'm not exonerating them anyway. I'm not exonerating them, but to make a sweeping statement on the whole military is not only embarrassing and is disturbing. Because there are some good people. In every society, you have some good and some bad people. So some good people will be discouraged. Some of them will be, we are aware that some of these military people make money out of it. But it's not in his position to come and say such a statement, make such a statement. That's where my worry is. But for me, he's a Nigerian, he's entitled to his opinion. But the people who provided the platform on which he made that statement should be brought to book too.
Alright, before delving into analysis, I would like to urge our viewers, both incoming and already existing, to please tap the subscribe button. Also, don't forget to tap the notification bell so you will get updates anytime we drop new videos. And for example, you should always make sure you watch till the end. And for purpose and for clearance sake, I would say you would like the our video, like the content, and drop a comment for us in the comment section for clarity, so we'll get to understand ourselves and know the direction we take. Thank you, and more updates. Now, the truth is, Asari Dokubo runs his mouth anywhere he's given chance to, because that is what he's paid for, let me say, because an ex-militant boss cannot just erupt from God knows where and begin to make allegations on the national security agencies that have been given the mandate to protect life and property in the Niger Delta. So I will see what Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu has to make of this particular statement when he returns from France in the ongoing summit with world leaders. Thank you for staying with us, and feel free to stay glued to Nation's Voice to us. We bring you more updates in our next content. See you next time. Bye.